Just over 6 months on the road and having cycled 12,000 kilometers through the United States, Canada and Mexico, I found myself setting off from Mexico City after a few weeks off the bike. I'd spent time in Puebla exploring the city and taking in all its culinary delights, as well as playing with this little rascal. I'd also explored Mexico City and watched a wrestling match which proved to be way more entertaining than I thought it could be. With my bike fixed though, I was ready to get back on the road. For those new to the channel, my name is Benson, or for this trip, the Biking Viking. I'm cycling from Alaska to Argentina, also known as the Ice to Ice Challenge, for a charity called Cardiac Risk in the Young. Para mis amigos que hablan español, activa los subtítulos. Let's get on the road.
Let's kick it. Ice, baby.
Welcome to episode... I don't know. We have finally left Mexico City. Had a great time in Puebla resting off the bike. Had a great time in Mexico City off the bike. But the bike has been serviced and Emilu is ready to go. She's been welded back together. You can see just down in there. There you go. Beautiful new paint job. We are climbing in this episode. The first thing, we're heading up here at the moment. There's two volcanoes to the east of Mexico City. You've got Itza and Popo. And I'm hopefully going to cycle up in between the middle of them, Paso de Corte, and then have a look over Popo. Popo is the one that is still active, so it occasionally erupts. Once we're over Paso de Corte, we're descending down to Oaxaca. I don't know what's happening, but I think I might be ill. We've got 6 kilometers left of the climb. I'm dead. I feel sick. I've got a cough and starting to get really cold. Lay down on a bench back there for half an hour and tried to sleep. I don't know whether it's the altitude or something else. I'm going to try and get to the top and then descend down the other side, because I think if it is the altitude, if I can get down to 2,500 meters, it would really help. Do not feel good. Right, let's keep going. So I did make it to the top of the climb. However, it's the worst I'd felt on the whole trip. So that was the last video I managed to film. Here's my recap the following morning. Good morning. I have just woken up. Last I left you, I was feeling absolutely horrid. I couldn't breathe. I was having chest pains, headaches. I was like falling asleep on the bike. It's like extreme fatigue. Felt absolutely awful. Took a few pictures. The views up there are amazing. I wanted to stay longer. It also would have been a cold night, so I decided the best thing to do would be drop down. So we came down through like a 4x4 track, which was interesting when you're that tired. I set up camp in this lovely spot, very quickly cooked some dinner and then passed out. 12 hours later, feel a lot better. But this view, I don't know if you can see, is absolutely stunning. For the past 2 days, by the time I've come to finish, my energy levels are through the ground. I'm like lightheaded, dizzy. It's a horrible feeling. I thought when it happened up the volcano that it was altitude sickness, but when it happened again yesterday and I was only at 1,800 meters, I think it's dehydration. There was problems peeing and stuff like that, so spoke to a few doctor friends to see if there's anything I can do, and it turns out if you're only drinking water, it can actually make the dehydration worse as it waters down the salts in your body. So got some rehydration tablets. Buenos dias. I need to get to Huajuapan tonight, as I met some people up Nevada de Toluca who have agreed to host me. Not only do they want to host me, they want to serenade me into the city with some cyclists, because they love cycling. So I'm meeting them at the border of Puebla and Oaxaca at 5 p.m. I've got to make sure I get there. From the Oaxaca border. Hola, hola, buenas tardes. Hola. I've reached the border, and now we will cycle into Huajuapan. Hector, Enrique, Fernando, Orlando. Now we're gonna ride in. Ready to ride. Let's go. After meeting up with the cyclists from Huajuapan, I was very surprised to see that we had a police car in tow and a police motorbike up front. Turns out that my new friends didn't like cycling on the main roads I've been using without backup. I have a police escort to enter the city. They had managed to organise a police convoy for us for the ride. We powered the final 20 kilometres into the city, which for me with this support was absolutely amazing. I got emotional as I was cycling along, surrounded by other cyclists. I'd never had this level of support before. I've never had a police escort before. We can go through red lights, we can hold up traffic. Oh yes, we do whatever we want. We have made it to the center with the convoy.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, sir. ¿Cómo se llama?
Daniel.
Daniel.
Gabriel.
Soy
¿Y
Benson.
tú? James.
Benson.
Benson.
O James.
Ok. ¿Nos podemos tomar una foto?
See? Now we say goodbye to the police convoy. And we're going to Fernando's house. We'll see you there. After leaving the square, we cycled over to Fernando's house, where I was introduced to his wife Nancy and the rest of the family. Nancy had made a beautiful mole dish for dinner, which I absolutely loved, and I even got to try mamey for the first time. It's a fruit I'd never even heard of. After dinner, Hector, one of the cyclists, came over for a few beers and a few tequilas before I headed up to bed ready for the next day, which is when this happened.
Gracias y nuevamente bienvenido, James. Esta es tu casa, plantel 08 del Cobao, Colegio de Bachilleres del Estado de Oaxaca. Bienvenido.
So this is me speaking in front of a school which Fernando and Nancy, my hosts, teach at. They'd convinced the headmaster for me to speak in front of the school kids. After the headmaster introduced me, I gave a brief explanation of my trip in Spanish to the students. I definitely butchered some of the Spanish here, but I have included some of the highlights.
Hola a todos, mi nombre es James, o como me llamo para este viaje, Benson el biciclista vikingo. Voy en bicicleta desde Alaska, Argentina, para recaudar fondos para una organización benéfica llamada Cardiac Risk in the Young. Los días más duros también pueden haber sido en México, ya que mi pedo izquierda se rompió en la baja y pedalé con una sola pierna durante 900 kilómetros. Gracias por recibirme y gracias por aguantar mi español. Ha sido un placer hablar con ustedes hoy.
Afterwards, they got to ask me some questions in English, which I would then answer in English and also hand out my stickers. Again, here are some of the best bits.
First, my name is Diego. The question is, how long have you been doing this? Traveled to Alaska to Argentina?
194 days. 6 meses.
Well, thank you.
Todos escucharon la pregunta, ¿verdad, chicas? La pregunta. Hi, my name is Carla. My question is, what is your favorite place in Mexico?
It's tough. Nevada del Toluca. Sí, later Oaxaca.
Do you have Instagram?
Sí. On the sticker.
Thank you.
Encantado.
What is your feet size?
American 13.
Okay.
Ok, la pregunta fue que cuál era su talla de zapatos. Y él dijo 12 en...
Dude, why haven't you got the joke yet? You used to be a teenager.
Chicas, por favor, compórtense.
Muchas gracias.
Story time. The school was absolutely awesome. They gave me an award and the principal kind of said something. I didn't really hear what he said. And then just 1,000 kids all descended to take pictures with me. That lasted a good half an hour. was like signing people's books. They were giving me gifts. I signed some children's arms with a Sharpie. I'm not proud of that one, but I would do it again. It got really crazy. They were asking to follow me on Instagram and stuff, which is really cool. A few of them messaged me saying that they now really want to learn English. It was cool. We had a great time. Now I'm off riding again. Adios, Fernando.
Adios, Benson.
For a great time. Right, get riding. After leaving Huajuapan, the Oaxacan hills really started. It was a tough ride along the road at first, before I decided to head off the highways for a stretch. With elevation always brings amazing views though, and as I descended and climbed through the mountains, the views were just breathtaking. The road soon turned to gravel as I headed deep into the Oaxacan countryside. I was riding along old railway tracks and even single-track farm roads. Before I finally arrived into Oaxaca. Thank you for watching, and as always, please like and subscribe. Join me next time where I'll be enjoying the culture and culinary delights that Oaxaca City has to offer, from Paso de Humo to my first Oaxacan tamale. I'll see you there.